Hi, I'm Kristen Bell, and if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping for a car. Selling a car? Not so much.
We're really doing this, huh?
Thankfully, Carvana makes it easy. Answer a few questions, put in your VIN or license, and done. We sold ours in minutes this morning, and they'll come pick it up and pay us this afternoon.
Bye-bye, truckie.
Of course, we kept the favorite.
Hello, other truckie.
Sell your car with Carvana today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Streamed and Screened, an entertainment podcast about movies and TV from Lee Enterprises. I'm Terry Lipschutz, managing editor of the National Newsroom at Lee, and co-host of the program with Bruce Miller, editor of the Sioux City Journal and a longtime entertainment reporter. And there is just a lot going on right now. We've got new shows coming out. The Bear is back. There's another installment in a franchise that's been kind of off the radar for a little while, but it's back and you just saw it. I mean, there's a lot going on right now.
Okay, so can I talk Bear? Because I've seen the Bear.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen all of the Bear.
All the Bear.
I'll tell you, I cried so many times during the course of this coming season that I could not quit watching the episodes because I wanted to know what was going to happen next. There are a lot of personal issues this year. You're going to find that each one has something that they either feel remorseful about or something that's kind of just appearing in their lives. They don't lean into a lot of comedy, which I hear as, I think, my best case for recategorizing this as a drama, not as a comedy. Because, yeah, there is stuff that's funny, but it's like everyday funny. It's not, and the only reason they're sticking to this is because it's a half hour-ish, and that's the format. The Emmy people, they don't have an under 30-minute category or an under an hour category, so they just kind of put it in the shorter one because that's where it fits. But I think it could easily win Best Drama Series, and they did that with Orange is the New Black. They switched it from one to the other and won in both categories. But this year, I think it's a real dramatic year. It's a turning point for everybody. If you may remember, last season ended with the review was coming out about the restaurant. And how is this going to affect what they're doing? Let's just say that they realize they have to regroup. They have a limited amount of time because the money runs out if they don't start seeing a turnaround in the business. And so they all have some little issue that comes to a boil in the end. There is one episode that's like that big holiday episode that introduced us to Jamie Lee Curtis. And spoiler alert, Jamie Lee is back. But this is a wedding episode. Oh. And if you may remember, there was talk of a wedding in the last season of somebody's ex. Mm-hmm. And that wedding takes place. Everybody shows up for the wedding, and it's the funniest episode of the bunch.
So just to point out here, so the season 4 debuts on June 25th. We're actually recording this on June 25th, but you got screeners.
I was able to see it.
And you saw the whole thing, right? All the episodes?
I couldn't end. I could not stop looking at the episodes. It was like potato chips. And I started with one, and I thought, well, it's not that long. Let's look at another one. I got through 5 in the first night. The second night, I finished them all off. And then I didn't want to say goodbye because I thought I need another season here to find out what happened beyond this.
Yeah, it's so hard with binging because on one hand, there's something to be said about spreading out a good thing because you don't want to burn through it all at once. But at the other hand, like, you just need to get to the end of something sometimes and that's where it's an interesting time we live in now with streaming and the idea of dropping episodes all at once or spreading them out. Like Netflix loves to just drop them all at once. Hulu likes to, spread it out over a number of weeks. And, I don't know if there's a right answer, but I know that feeling of like you watch something, you'll crush through it so quickly. And then you get to the end and you feel like, wow, that's amazing. But also, oh, now I got to wait another year for this.
Well, I saw the first episode of Gilded Age, and I did not get beyond that. I mean, I don't have access to later episodes, and I felt like I need a little more. I gotta have a little more on this. So give it to me, and I'll do it when I deem it right. But that one has changes too, huge changes in that show. The people who were kind of the nouveau riche couple are now seeing that there's a little kind of crack in their exterior. People who were in charge are no longer in charge, and the ones who weren't in charge are in charge. So it's an interesting kind of mix. I think they did the right thing by mixing their thing up early. Okay. Because it was getting to be pretty Downton Abbey by the second season. And now in the third season, I see them kind of taking their own path. So I think it could be good.
Yeah.
May I just say, when you watch The Bear, get the Kleenex and get something to eat, because you're going to sit for a long time if they're all out there.
Yeah. And then this is, from my understanding, it sounds like this is only going to be a 5-season program. That's what I've heard.
I would assume so, just on the basis of the extra career momentum that all the actors have. Come on.
Yeah, right.
You've got, Jeremy Allen White is like, where doesn't he go? What film isn't he doing?
Right.
Eben Moss, Bacharach, he's getting film work. All of them are showing up elsewhere. So I'm sure that becomes, how do we get them all together when they're doing these other things? A matter of scheduling. It's just a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. The, Jeremy Allen White he's got a big movie coming out at the end of the year. He's going to be playing Bruce Springsteen in Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is a look at that transitional point in his career. He kind of exploded. It was post Born to Run, but before Born in the USA, and he was recording demos at his bedroom, basically on a 4-track tape recorder, and these demos ended up turning into the album Nebraska, which is a very stark acoustic album. No E Street Band, and it's fascinating. It looks like it's going to be really good. The trailer just came out in the last week. I think Jeremy Allen White looks a lot like Bruce Springsteen in it. I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be another big actor in this one too, Jeremy Strong from Succession. And he's also coming off his big Oscar nomination for, what was that, The Apprentice, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he plays John Landau, who is Bruce Springsteen's manager, and he looks very
kind of like him.
Yeah. I don't know if he put on a little bit of weight for the role. They gave him like a hairpiece. I
always do that. Can I tell you, whenever I'm in a role, I always add weight.
If they said to me, Terry, you need to put on 15 pounds for this role, I'd be like, I can handle that. It's Paul Walter Hauser. He's been on Cobra Kai. He was on that in that movie about the Atlanta.
He won an Emmy. Yeah,
right. The Atlanta Olympic bombing. He played the officer in that. He's going to be in it. He plays Mike Batlin, who is Springsteen's guitar tech at the time, who helped run the tape recorder. So it's an interesting mix of people. Gabby Hoffman. You remember her? She was the little girl in Field of Dreams, right? And Uncle Buck. She's all grown up now and plays Springsteen's mother in the movie. So it's
mother.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
So do we get the E Street Band in this?
Yeah, they're going to be in it. There's a handful of actors that were cast for it. I'm trying to think like who it was. Johnny Canizero plays Stephen Van Zandt. He's the most notable E Street Band member, most prominent in the movie, at least. So we'll see. Stephen Graham plays Douglas Springsteen. He's a fairly well-known character actor. He's been in quite a bit over the years. So should be good. Boardwalk Empire was probably his biggest role that I can think of offhand. But
all right.
Yeah, this isn't just some little movie. At first, when the rumors of the movie first developed last year or so, and it was before the casting, it's kind of like, well, who are they going to get for this? But they really got an all-star lineup of either well-known character actors or actors like Jeremy Allen White, Jeremy Strong, who are just kind of like hitting their peak right now, and just it should be good. I'm excited about it, and I'm almost done with the book that it's based on.
It's this year's Complete Unknown.
Yeah, exactly. It could be better. I mean, I'm a huge Springsteen fan, so I'm gonna be biased. It's 12 stars out of 5 right now, Bruce.
Okay, but then if you don't like it, you'll be the worst critic of the film.
I know. So apparently Springsteen, he was popping in on set all the time because they shot it on location in New Jersey, and he gave it his seal of approval. It has his blessing, which I don't know if that's always a good thing when the person says like, "Oh yeah, that's great," but
I'm going to give you something to wear on set.
Right. Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, I had a piece of him here with me when I was playing the role."
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, good. That'll be good. Well, see, though, so that's why he's not really invested in 10 seasons of The Bear.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think. That's my take.
Yeah. And I feel like the show has a shelf life too. Like most foods at a restaurant, you can't have it forever.
You can definitely see that there needs to be a 5th season.
Yep.
And in the 5th season, it will divide and conquer. You'll figure out who goes where and who does what. I think that's at least the feeling I get. But I'll go back and watch it again because I enjoyed it that much. But knowing now what I know, I can look for other things in the course of the series. So watch The Bear. It's coming. Now, I've got a huge movie that came out this last week that I loved.
Okay.
28 years later. Now, this is, if you remember 28 Days Later or 20, whatever, they had all these different 28 weeks. And this is the latest in the bunch. And it's about these kind of zombies that are on the mainland, but there are people in an island that have not been infected by these people. So they kind of, they're very weird, to be honest with you.
Sure.
They're a little too insular. And so they have all these categories that you're a hunter, you're a teacher, you're a whatever, and you fit in these categories. And this dad decides that he is going to make his son be one of these ones that goes over to the mainland, and then they're scavengers of sorts.
Okay.
And they grab things from these other people. And they go over there and like they're killing people right and left. It's very violent, very violent. But they see this smoke that's off in the distance. And the boy, who's 12, Spike is his name, asks, "What is that?" And he says, "Oh, that's some crazy guy. He's a doctor." And the boy comes back home and he thinks, you know what? Maybe that doctor can help my mother. His mother is sick. They don't know what's wrong with her. So the boy makes a choice that he's going to take mom to see this doctor. It is unbelievable. And the kid who's in it, he's a newcomer. His dad is an actor, but he isn't one that you would know. But the young kid is going to be huge. Alfie Williams is his name, and he is so incredible. Through some of these, what I would think would be very traumatic moments, he knows how to handle it and how you should react. They've already started filming the sequel to this.
Right.
It could be done by now.
Yeah.
And that'll come out within the next year, where you actually follow this Spike and what his journey is. They shot it with cell phones. They used new kind of cameras. It's a lot of different technical challenges that they tried with this. And, it's a zombie film. Okay. It's a zombie film, but they've made other things that make you want to see it. Danny Boyle, I think, is a really inventive director. He's back with it now. He wasn't with the last one, but he's back with the premise, and he also directed the next one. But look for Alfie, because Alfie is a comer. Alfie Williams, remember that name?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. For whatever reason, I never saw the original 2 movies, but I think I have to go back and watch them and then get caught up.
Yeah, it's a virus that it starts infecting people,
right.
And you don't know who has it. And these zombies the zombies are naked all the time. So apparently you're hot-blooded if you're a zombie. And the nudity isn't so much a factor because a lot of they do cutting very quickly. So they're running and you're missing sequences there. So you don't really see anything.
Okay.
I was enthralled, and I thought, oh God, I'm going to have to go see a zombie movie tonight.
Yeah. That's good.
And Found the kid, and the kid is great.
Okay. And then lastly, you have an interview. You
Yeah.
from a new show, right?
Okay, so coming out July 9th, I'm giving you a little kind of heads up here. If you remember the series Bosch, Bosch had a sequel, and now they've done a spin-off of that. And Titus Welliver played Bosch, and he was this kind of, well, he was more problems at times than he was worth, I think.
Okay.
But he has a person that he worked with who has been hired to be in charge of the cold case department in the Los Angeles Police Department.
Okay.
And they don't have any money to do this. Cold cases, come on. They've been cold for 20 years. Who's going to find the killer now? So it's almost like they're putting these people out of the way so they don't get into what actually is going on. And they get a sense that there is something amiss with the LAPD.
Okay.
And so while they're investigating these cases, they're also looking at a higher problem. Maggie Q, who you know from a lot of action films and action series, plays Renee Ballard, and it's named Ballard after her. And she leads this team. She's got Courtney Taylor as one of her helpers, and an old retired, I shouldn't say old, but a retired cop who helps her, who knows a lot of the inside track, and that's John Carroll Lynch. And if you may remember, he was in Fargo.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And you betcha. And anyway, we get to talk about that. So I have the three of them together, and you'll pick out who's who as they start talking. But they talk about the experience and how active this is. This is an action show, and do you get hurt in the process? So here's an interview with the actors from Ballard. I'm curious, why are people so fascinated with cold cases? I mean, we see it here. We put one on, and it's like we get huge hits for any kind of story about that. What is it, our fascination with this?
I'm the person that will watch the serial killer documentary before bed. I'm good with that.
Me too.
I think mysteries just from the beginning.
Yeah,
John doesn't know.
Not even cold case, just like detectives. Remember Angela Lansbury and, all those like people that were just like sleuths, just trying to figure stuff out. It was always
I like the
fascinating.
cold cases also bring a sense of longing, a sense of loss, and not only for the people who've been victimized, but also for the detectives themselves. There was a story we heard from one of our technical advisors about opening up one of these books and having a note inside that said, if you ever find out who did this, call me. From the person who had worked this case for a decade and retired with this case open. They wanted it closed. And that desire, that longing, I also think there's a sense in cold cases specifically that it is about justice, but it's about closure. It's about the family finally figuring out what happened to their loved one.
Any kind of a cold case that was maybe related to a friend or somebody you knew or not?
I've had them. I've had them, several that we don't know what happened, and or we do, but it just was never brought. The person was never brought to justice, and so that's I'll tell you, that's not fun. Not fun. And I can't imagine if it's my living to get answers, right? I was just a person who loved someone and something happened to them and we were never able to figure it out. But if it's my job, if it is like, what I'm supposed to do and bring to these families and justice and to the public, I can't imagine that pressure. I really can't.
So did you read the books? Were you familiar with all of this, or do you know?
I mean, I have since, but not until this was brought. Yeah.
Yeah, I dived into the books right when I got the audition. I was like, okay, well, this is my chance to read some new books. And Michael Connelly just has such a way with creating a world that I felt like I was in it. Like it's such a wonderful storyteller, man.
I called my brother when I got the offer for this, and he was like, I've read every Michael Connelly book.
I got more.
Every single one.
When they announced my in the show, I got more texts from more people in my life than any project I've ever done ever in 25 years.
And it was also like, what are you going to play? What character? It's Tom LaFont. That's not in the books.
Who's that?
Oh,
Characters in the books.
I love your
I
brother.
was like, really? I should read one of these. Well, I read the show and it was amazing. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Do you get to do a lot of action scenes or not?
In this series, mostly my action is bringing donuts. But I have done a lot of.
When it's a dozen, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
So,
But also, I have done my share of action in the past. I really enjoy doing what I can do. The older one gets, the less one feels like you think to yourself, "Wow, that."
All my action was in Fargo. Isn't that what you said?
Well, I mostly ate during that movie.
Right. Donuts a bit there too. But Reggie, they say to you, how much do we have to have or how much do we want? Is there a limit to this, or do you say, you know what? No.
I haven't said no yet. I should. Probably a good one. What I like about the action in this series, it's very organic to cop work. It's not outside the realm. It's not fantastical. It's not, it's not a Marvel franchise, right? It hurts. It's grounded in the storytelling. And so all of the action moves the story forward, which is very important because I've been in things where action was very gratuitous and it was bane of my existence. But this stuff, we have such a great stunt coordinator, action director. He's so wonderful. He's so easy to work with. And he really made it, as painful as it was, he made it as least painful as possible.
You're familiar with, you know how to do this. I talked with Rebel Wilson yesterday. She has action in her newest film. Every day I thought something was going to go wrong. And then the last day of filming, she got hurt.
Yeah.
You thought it was the last day. But, do you think about those things when you're...
I mean, I got hurt. I mean, I had a broken finger, or what was it? Yeah, the outside. I broke too here. And I mean, it's just been healed maybe like for 3 weeks. Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff where, Stuntman and I went into the air, and then when we hit the ground, my hand was under him and it shouldn't have been there. I should have pulled it out quicker. So, it's just stuff that you can't avoid. But it's very like it's when you're in it and you're doing it and the adrenaline's there, right? Especially with the scene that we were filming where I did get hurt. It's very violent, and it's supposed to be real life violence that somebody would experience if this thing was happening to them in that moment. And so you really can't hold back on that stuff because the audience will know it's not going to feel real to them. And so that's kind of the sacrifice you have to make, because I come from film and I give film effort, even in TV. And I think that's probably my downfall.
But next time, reach for the donut.
I'm just going to have the donut around the hand.
If you had a donut in your hand while you're being strangled, I think your hands would be safe.
I think you're going to make it.
LaFont's got it figured out. Should have just listened to him. He is my senior.
But here's the thing. Like in the one scene I'm running, I actually did pull a hamstring.
We didn't even have to spritz you. You were sweating.
No, I was sweating.
And so am I. They usually come in between takes. We were we were sweating like crazy. It was the summer. So we were good. We looked
Keep it up. Keep it up. Hey, thank you guys so much. And great.
Thank you. Thank you. Fun. Thank you.
All right, Bruce, thanks for the interview. Nice hearing from Norm Gunderson again.
There you go.
I hope, you betcha, I hope his stamp did well, because that's what he was painting in the movie, right? He painted the duck stamp, I think it was.
The duck stamp.
The duck stamp, yeah. So, yeah, a lot going on. We have The Bear is out 28 years later, Ballard. I mean, just a lot of good stuff right now. A lot of it used to be a dead time, right? The summer, nothing going on, but there's plenty to watch right now.
There's no beach time for us. We are going to be watching TV as much as possible and going to the movies whenever we can. And coming up, we're still talking Jaws. 50th anniversary of Jaws. We've got people to talk about that. Be ready for it, because it's interesting what they tell you about how that was pulled together. And we'll have that in a coming episode.
Yeah, and that'll be in a few weeks off, around mid-July. Just a programming note, because of the holidays and a little vacation time and all that, we will be off for a week. So we expect to come back sometime around the week of July 14th. So enjoy this episode. Watch The Bear, right? Get out there, get to the movies. A lot of stuff going on. And we'll be back again soon with another episode of Streamed and Screened.
Bettering your business takes working with the best. With the James Hardie Alliance, you gain access to leads, training, networking, and support from the #1 brand of siding in North America. Achieve new levels of success by joining the James Hardy Alliance today.